look at is, well, are the men were fighting exactly the same in each sentence? Is there any difference in the cases between the words? We have Agricola, 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 Filio, 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 Aurum, 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 and David, David, David. So it seems like the words are all exactly the same. But are these sentences exactly the same?
No.
Are they going to mean very similar things?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
They have all the same words.
They have all the same words with all the same endings, so that probably means that whatever is the subject here is the subject here is the subject here, and so forth. But what two positions in the sentence have extra emphasis? The beginning and the end. So in this sentence, what word are we emphasizing?
Armor.
And in this sentence, what word are we emphasizing?
Gold.
And in this sentence, what?
Sun.
Sun. Okay, so let's see. Wes, would you tell us what you got for the translation of this sentence?
It is. The farmer will give the gold to the sun.
The farmer will give the gold to the sun. That's good. And in this particular sentence, we kind of have a little bit of extra emphasis on the word farmer, but not a whole lot of extra emphasis because it's the subject and it's kind of what we would expect to have at the beginning of the sentence. So that's just kind of a regular old sentence. The farmer will give gold to the sun. Okay? Now, in this sentence, we have aurum first. Now, aurum is not the subject. It's the direct object.
Can I do it?
Sure.
The farmer will give the gold to the sun.
Okay, that's correct. But if you're saying it, and it's easier to do by saying than by writing, what word has extra emphasis here?
Aurum.
And so, kind of say it in English, giving extra emphasis to that word.
Farmer gave the gold to the sun.
Yeah, the farmer gave gold to the sun. Well, I mean, and that makes sense to give that extra emphasis because normally you don't give gold to your sons. So the farmer gave gold to the son. Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Whatever words first is the one that gets stressed.
Right. Now, and it's really kind of hard to write that in English. One way you might write it
Italicize?
is italicize that word. The farmer gave gold to the son. You'd italicize
We
it.
underline it too.
You can underline
Or
it.
put a
So
huge
it's David
exclamation point.
Will give.
It will give. Yeah, did I say gave?
Yeah.
No, it's will give. So the farmer will give gold to the son is the first one. The second one, the farmer will give gold to the son. And in the third one, what's that one going to be?
Sun.
The boy will give gold to the farmer.
No, it's not the boy will give gold to the farmer. Why not? Filio does come first, but why is it not the subject?
Not in the nominative case.
Not in the nominative case. It can't be the subject because it's not nominative. So what is it going to be instead?
The farmer will give gold to the sun.
Yeah, the farmer will give gold to the son.
The sun
Yeah.
is special.
What has the sun done right to get this
Same
gold?
sentence with different things emphasized. So they mean the same thing almost. We're just giving different emphasis to different words. So let's take a look at number 2. We have, can someone read it out loud to me?
Poeta, feminas, verbis.
Feminas or feminis?
Feminas,
Okay?
verbis, de anima, movebat. And anima has a long mark of the last A.
Okay, good. All right. Now, I think there was another one for number 2. What was the other one?
Verbis, de anima, poeta, feminas, movebat.
Okay, so once again, when we look at these two sentences, we see that we do have the same words in the same case. Poeta is nominative, feminas is accusative, verbis is probably ablative, anima is ablative, movebat is imperfect. So we have the same things in both sentences, but we have a different order for the two sentences. So let's start with this first sentence. Poeta, what case is that? So it's going to be the subject, so we know that the poet is doing something. Okay? Poet's doing something. Feminas, what case is that?
Accusative.
Accusative, so they're the direct object. So the women, they're the direct object. So we've got that now. Poet, subject, women, direct object. Verbis, what
Dative
case
or
is that?
ablative?
Dative or ablative. Now if it's dative, what would it mean?
To the word.
To or for the words. All right? If it's ablative, what would it mean?
With.
With or by the word. So let's kind of keep that in our head. Day.
Isn't it about
About. Anima.
the soul?
The soul. And that's ablative, which is what we would expect for the object of day, because day takes the ablative. Moeba. What tense is it?
Imperfect.
Imperfect. We know it's imperfect because of the ba. Anytime we see a ba, we know it's imperfect. So, was moving. Okay, so now we've got a good idea of what's going on. The poet's the subject. The poet is moving. What is he moving? The women.
With his words.
With the words.
About the soul.
About the soul.
So
Okay.
what?
The poet was moving the women with words about the soul.
With extra emphasis on poet.
Not really, because it's the subject, and so subjects usually come first, so it's extra emphasis just because it's the subject.
Right.
If you have something other than the subject first, then that means that you're really emphasizing that. So what kind of ablative is werebees?
Ablative?
Yeah, what kind of ablative?
Oh, just kidding.
We have means. Yeah, it's means. Because it's by
Ablative.
means of words.
Ablative queen.
Okay? Now let's look at this second one. What word comes first in this sentence?
Werebees.
Werebees. And so that means we're giving extra emphasis to it. So it means the same as this, but we're giving extra emphasis to this word. So would anyone like to try to translate that? Okay, Cole, and try to keep the camera still.
I am.
Okay, now just keep it on the ground. And if it's not pointing where you need it to be pointing, then we'll just move the camera. But
Okay.
Just leave it on the
No,
tripod.
not like that.
Just leave it on the tripod.
All right, now it's in the right spot. Okay. The poet moved women with the with his. The poet moved the women with his words about the soul.
Okay, maybe, but I think we can translate this one in a way that keeps the Latin word order and still makes sense in English.
Oh, right.
The words of the soul, the words about the soul by the poet moved the woman.
That has the right meaning, but we actually would have a different way to say that in Latin using the passive voice, and we've got active voice here, but you're on the right
What
track.
was it? No, never mind.
Did you want to try it?
The words of the poet about the soul.
Okay, we don't want to make words the subject, because it's not the subject. How did we translate werebees up here?
With the words of the soul, the poet moved the woman.
With the words about the soul, the poet was moving the women. And that keeps the Latin word order, but still makes sense in English.
May Thresher.
Yes. And that actually has a similar feel as it would in Latin, because when you hear with the words about the soul, well, that's kind of leaving you hanging. It's like, well, what about the words with the soul? And it's the same thing in Latin. You're waiting to find out what happens, and it puts extra emphasis on those words. Okay, number 3. Would y'all read that out to me, please?
Ruri, Arma, Reginai, Non,
Reginae.
Reginai, Non, Cement.
Okay, and was there a second sentence with this one?
Non, Cement, Weary, Arma, Reginai.
Okay, same words, both sentences?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, the first one is in normal word order, subject first, verb last. The second one is not normal word order. We have the verb first. And then we've got something not the subject last. Okay, so let's start with this one. Weary, Arma, Reginae, non tendent. Weary, what case is that going to be?
Non.
Singular or plural?
Plural.
Plural. Probably nominative plural because it's the first word in the sentence. What else could it be?
Genitive singular.
Genitive singular. Okay. But probably nominative plural. It's probably the men. Okay, what about Arma?
Accused.
Singular or plural? It's weapons.
Plural.
So it could be accusative plural. Could it be something else?
Could be nominative.
Could be nominative plural because it's neuter. But we're probably thinking that it's accusative because we probably think this is nominative and this is accusative. So it's probably the men doing something and the arms being the direct object. Okay, what about Reginae?
Or of the queen.
Okay, it could be of the queen. What else could it be?
To or for the queen.
To or for the queen. What else could it be?
Non.
Nominative plural. Okay, well, could be nominative plural, but we're still
Probably not.
thinking this one's the nominative one.
Probably not, because why would you have two coins at the same time?
Yeah, okay, so we think it's probably going to be of the queen or to the queen or for the queen. Okay, non. And then tement. What does tement mean?
Fear.
Fear. Okay, so if this were normal word order, which we think it is, what is this going to mean?
What is wearing meaning?
The men.
Anyone unafraid by the
Queen, no fear.
Okay, now make that.
Fear the queen's weapons.
Yeah, the men do not fear the queen's weapons, or the men do not fear the weapons of the queen. So even though each one of these could have been nominative plural, the others don't quite make as much sense. I mean, the weapons of the man for the queen don't fear. I mean, that one doesn't make sense. But if we say the men do not fear the weapons of the queen, that makes sense.
Well, actually, I don't know.
Okay, now if we look at this one,